I think my body pretty much shut down on me, and I ended up having like 25 surgeries in the last 10 years.
It's the kind of headline that just stops you cold. The kind of story that feels too raw, too tragic to be real. In late July 2025, a shocking story started making the rounds online, claiming that the final, frantic moments of an American icon had been caught on camera. The title was blunt and impossible to look away from. New bodycam footage of Hulk Hogan's death goes viral. The story claimed that clips from police bodycams and bystander phones showed a scene of chaos outside the Florida home of Terry Bollea, the man we all knew as Hulk Hogan. These videos supposedly spread like wildfire across TikTok, X, and Facebook, painting a heartbreaking picture of the end of a legendary life. The narrative was that on the morning of July 24, 2025, Hulk Hogan had suffered a fatal cardiac arrest. Millions saw the claims. Millions reacted with grief and horror. But what are you really looking at when you see a story like this? In a time when AI can cook up a whole video from a single sentence, and old footage can be slapped with a fake caption to start a panic. The line between what's real and what's fake has never been blurrier. A story going viral doesn't mean it's true anymore. It just means it was good at getting a reaction. And what's more emotional than losing a childhood hero? Today, we're going on an investigation. We're going to pull back the curtain on this viral claim. We'll look at the so-called evidence and follow the digital trail. We have to ask the hard questions. Was this footage ever real? Did major news outlets really post something so graphic? Or was this whole traumatic event a ghost? A hoax, built with chilling precision to manipulate millions of people? Let's break it down. To get why this was so effective, you have to understand the story it told. It wasn't a slow burn. It was an explosion. It all started with social media, posts that laid out a tragic puzzle. The core claim was that on the morning of July 24, 2025, emergency services rushed to Hulk Hogan's home in Clearwater, Florida, for a cardiac arrest. This part, tragically, was true. But what came next was a masterclass in digital smoke and mirrors. Almost right away, the supposed footage started to pop up. It wasn't one clean clip, but a messy collage of different angles, which made the whole thing feel more documented than it was. First, there was the bystander video. It was shaky, grainy, and clearly filmed on a phone from across the street. It looked exactly like a nosy neighbor catching a moment they knew was huge. You could see the flashing lights. You could see a house that looked like Hogan's, and then the gut punch. Paramedics rushing a stretcher to an ambulance. On it, a large figure, partly covered by a sheet, was getting frantic chest compressions. You were meant to know exactly who that was. Then came the bodycam footage, which was even more jarring. This clip was supposedly from an officer's perspective, giving a chaotic, up-close view that seemed to confirm the bystander's video. It felt official. It felt undeniable. It had that raw, unfiltered look we've been trained to see as authentic. That as these descriptions and low-quality clips spread, a wave of other fake content appeared to back them up. Doctored screenshots of tweets from real news reporters seemed to confirm the videos were legit. The clips were re-edited on TikTok with sad music, racking up views under hashtags like #RipHulk and #HULKAMANIA forever. The comment sections turned into a digital wake, with fans sharing memories of WrestleMania 3 and swapping stories. The final nail in the coffin of skepticism was the claim that major news outlets TMZ, the New York Post, OK Magazine had not only reported the story, but had embedded the clips right into their articles. For a lot of people, that was it. If TMZ is running the video, it has to be real, right? Their whole business is breaking exclusive, controversial footage. The story felt complete. A hero was gone, and his final moments were out there for the world to see. The problem? The entire thing was built on a foundation of sand. Whenever you're investigating something, whether it's a crime or just a weird internet rumor, you have to start by questioning everything. And when we started digging, the story of the Hulk Hogan footage began to fall apart. It all started with one simple question: where did these videos actually come from? Viral videos almost always have a patient zero on original post. We started hunting for that first upload, digging through TikTok, X, Facebook, and forums like 4chan where this stuff often starts. We found nothing. There was no original high-quality version of any of it. Every clip was a grainy, pixelated, recompressed copy of another copy. It was a digital hall of mirrors. Even more telling, when we went directly to the news sites that were supposedly hosting the videos, TMZ, the New York Post, OK Magazine, the footage wasn't there. While they did report on Hogan's passing, their articles contained no video of the emergency response. The screenshots circulating online that showed the videos on their homepages. Fakes, clever mock-ups, designed to trick you. That was our first huge red flag. The next crack was in the timeline. The viral posts were full of super specific details. A 911 call at 9:51 a.m., pronounced dead at Morton Plant Hospital at 11:17 a.m. Talk of leaked dispatch audio. These details make a story feel credible. But a check with the Clearwater Police and Fire Rescue showed that while they confirmed the tragedy, the hyper-specific timeline being shared online didn't come from them. Those details only existed inside the hoax itself, repeated over and over until people just accepted them as fact. It's a classic disinformation trick. Wrap your lie in a blanket of plausible-sounding facts. To make it seem legit, the investigation was painting a pretty clear picture. There was no original source for the videos. The claims that news outlets posted them were false, and the specific details used to sell the story were unconfirmed. We weren't just investigating a video, we were investigating a ghost. So how do you debunk a video that you can't even find? You can't do a frame-by-frame analysis, but you can analyze the idea of the video and show how it was perfectly engineered to trick our brains. Let's start with the so-called bystander footage. The description is perfect. Shaky, low quality, filmed from a distance. It's a genius move. We've been conditioned to think that shaky, crappy-looking video is more authentic. A polished, cinematic shot would feel fake, but a shaky video feels real. Hoax creators know this. By intentionally making a fake video look bad, they hijack our own biases. Plus, the scene it describes is generic. A Florida home, an ambulance, paramedics. We see this on the local news all the time. The creators could have easily swiped footage from a totally unrelated medical call from years ago, in another state, involving a different person, degrade the quality, and it's almost impossible to tell. The person on the stretcher is covered, so you can't get a positive ID. The caption says it's Hulk Hogan, so your brain fills in the rest. The hoax works on the power of suggestion, not evidence. Now, the Bodycam footage. This is a newer, more sinister trick. We trust Bodycam footage because it feels official. Including it in the hoax was a calculated move to add a stamp of undeniable proof, but faking it is easier than you think. AI can now generate video in the style of a Bodycam, or visual effects can add the timestamp and rec icon to any clip. The glitches you might see in an AI video could even be mistaken for the compression artifacts you'd expect in a real one. The hoax was layered. The bystander video appealed to our sense of a real, unplanned moment. The Bodycam video appealed to our trust in authority. By combining them, the creators built a powerful illusion. A good hoax doesn't just invent things out of thin air. It wraps its lies around a kernel of truth. The Hogan hoax did this brilliantly, creating aftershocks that were just as damaging as the initial lie. One of the most powerful was the story about WWE's tribute on SmackDown. Social media posts described a solemn 10-bell salute on July 25th, with wrestlers on the ramp, heads bowed. They even included fake quotes from Triple H about Hogan's legacy. For wrestling fans, this felt like the ultimate confirmation. Here's the twist. We did pay tribute to Hogan with a 10-bell salute and a statement from Triple H. The hoax creators took that real, emotional event and wove it into their fake story about the footage. They used real grief to sell a fake video. People would think, well, if WWE is mourning him like this, the stories about his final moments must be true. The creators also reached back in time. A story started spreading that Hogan had made a wild, shirt-ripping appearance at the 2024 Republican National Convention to endorse Donald Trump. This detail was designed to stir the pot and tap into political polarization, getting more people to share and argue about the story. The thing is, it never happened. While Hogan was a vocal Trump supporter, there's no credible report of him speaking at the 2024 RNC. It was just another invented detail. Why did so many people fall for all this? Because it was built on something real. Hulk Hogan had faced very public and serious health problems for years. He'd had countless surgeries and spoke openly about the toll wrestling took on his body. So the story of a sudden cardiac arrest didn't come out of nowhere. It felt plausible because we already knew he was in a fragile state. The lie worked because, in a way, we were already afraid it might be true. So, we've established the footage was a ghost, wrapped in a web of lies. The last question is, why? Why would someone create such a cruel and complicated hoax? There isn't just one reason. Sometimes, it's about profit. In today's internet economy, clicks mean cash. A shocking story about Hulk Hogan's death is a traffic goldmine. Scummy websites and YouTube channels can churn out content about the hoax, load it up with ads, and make money off the wave of panicked searching. Other times, the goal is just chaos. Some people get a thrill from seeing if they can fool the public. It's a form of digital arson, setting a fire just to watch it burn. They want to erode trust in the media and prove that truth is whatever they say it is. These hoaxes are so effective because they play on our own psychology. We have a morbid curiosity about death, especially when it involves famous people. There's also the fear of missing out, or FOMO, which pressures us to share breaking news before we've even checked it. But most of all, they prey on our emotions. When you hear a childhood hero has died, your critical thinking takes a back seat to grief and shock. So how do you protect yourself? First, just slow down. Hoaxes are designed to make you feel a sense of urgency. Resist it. Second, check multiple credible sources. Don't trust a random TikTok. Go directly to established news organizations like the Associated Press, Reuters, or major newspapers. Third, look for an official statement from the family or an official organization like WWE. If there isn't one, be very suspicious. And finally, remember that videos and photos are as easy to fake as text now. After digging through the digital fog, the verdict is in. The viral bodycam and bystander footage of Hulk Hogan's final moments is a total fake. More accurately, it's a ghost. There's no credible evidence it was ever released, and the entire story around it was an elaborate and malicious hoax. That's a hoax that preyed on the real-world health struggles of a legend, exploited the grief of his fans, and used modern disinformation tactics to create a convincing illusion. The story of Hulk Hogan's actual death is a tragedy. The story of the fake footage is a warning. It's a warning to be skeptical, to be critical, and to be mindful of what we share. Celebrity death hoaxes aren't new, but they are getting scarily good. Have you seen other hoaxes like this? Did you see the posts about the Hogan footage? Let me know your experience in the comments below. And if you want to learn more about how to spot fake stories and protect yourself from being manipulated, make sure you subscribe. In an age of information warfare, being media literate is our best defense. Stay vigilant, brother.